Ready? My name is Comrade Imeabe Oscar. I represent South Youth Initiative as the national president. We sincerely, as Rivers Youth, as South Youth, as Niger Delta Youth, we condemn in its entirety the impeachment noticed by the Imeabe-led administration or House of Assembly. Today, Wike have decided to sponsor the State House of Assembly because the current government or current governor, the executive governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Mafubara, have refused His Excellency to go ahead with the kangaroo agreement that Mr. Wike said he signed before Mr. President. We are totally not happy about the current agreement that Wike asked His Excellency to sign. One of those things on the list of the agreement that Wike is calling agreement upon agreement. The agreement that Wike talked about is one, that His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Rivers State, will not have the opportunity to appoint more than 5 advisors as a governor of the state. That His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Rivers State, will not have the opportunity to nominate his cabinet members known as commissioners. That the Governor of Rivers State will actually appoint or reappoint Sergeant Awuse to continue as the chairman of Rivers State traditional rulers, despite the fact that his tenure has elapsed as the chairman of the Traditional Ruler Council. That His Excellency Mafubara will not go for second tenure. And that the Rivers State House of Assembly, under the leadership of Martin Samewule, will go for third tenure. These are the agreements that Wike talked about. That agreement is agreement that he talked in all his talk in the local government areas as if he was contesting for governor. Now we want Mr. President to call Wike to order. Not only that Mr. President to call Wike to order, we also want Wike to be sacked. We also believe that if Wike is relieved as the minister or the FCT minister, Wike will actually have his way and then try to go down and behave well as a citizen of the country, of Rivers State. But unfortunately, Mr. President is making us feel that Mr. President is responsible and is the one sponsoring the political crisis that we're having in Rivers State. His refusal, the refusal of Mr. President to sack the FCT minister is actually an indication that Mr. President Tinubu is interested in what is going on in Rivers State or the political tozo that we're having here in Rivers State. If Mr. President wants to prove to Rivers people and Nigerians that he is not interested in the political tozo that we are being faced, orchestrated by Mr. Wike, his FCT minister, then we want him to be relieved of that position as the FCT minister. Going forward, we want Wike to understand that within his period as the governor of Rivers State, Wike never embarked on any skill acquisition in the state. Wike never appoint any youth in his cabinet. Wike did not pay bursary. As much as we know, Wike went further and asked the students, Rivers State students, to forget about bursary. That he wasn't paid bursary when he was a student. That was the reason Wike refused to pay bursary to students of Rivers State. Going further, Wike refused to pay pension to pensioners, refused to promote civil servants. Going further again, Wike actually abandoned all the projects that was set up for youth employment or recruitment in the state that was set up by the then governor, which he took over from. Right on Imeabe, the Songhai farm was abandoned. The Rivers State Sustainable Development Agency, RSSDA, was abandoned. The Bukoman fish farming was abandoned. ROTC was abandoned. Every other aspect that was set up by the then governor of Rivers State, right on Imeabe, was abandoned by Wike. Wike actually abandoned all of this process and never embarked upon any youth employment or youth empowerment. Upon his departure, then Wike came out with a Nicodemus employment that came up with 10,000 youth. Today, the same Wike who were not able to provide all the people that was employed by his then administration, today he's saying that those people should be returned back to a situation that they were not properly provided. The same Wike commissioned the Songhai, the cassava processing farm in the local government. Wike commissioned that cassava processing farm, and also abandoned it even when he was the one that commissioned it. Today, that cassava processing farm is not working. Then Wike went for first and second tenure upon all his poor level of governance in the state. Wike has PhD in poor governance. And at this point in time, when Wike to understand that we want him to be sacked because all of this that we're having today, the economic situation, the financial misconduct talked about by the Rivers State House of Assembly, is not as a result of financial misconduct. This is what is going on as political witch hunting. Rivers people, Nigerians, and Niger Delta people should not be deceived. what is playing out in political tussle that is going on in Rivers State is as a result of political witch hunting, because Nyesom Wike have been refused to take over the entire, or to be in charge of the Rivers State resources the same way he planned. Nyesom Wike, because the governor of Rivers State have refused Nyesom Wike to have it all in Rivers State as the deciding factor of what's going on in Rivers State. That is what is going on in Rivers State. So at this point, we want Nyesom Wike to understand that we are not comfortable with the political tussle that is going on today, and that we condemn in its entirety the impeachment notice or the impeachment proceeding currently by the Rivers State House of Assembly.
Okay, you mentioned some of the agreements, supposed agreements. Were you there? Were you part of the meeting that this agreement were listed? Because you did say these are the agreements. How did you come to know them?
At this point, we are aware that the agreement upon agreement that Nyesom Wike talked about, it is not longer something hidden. We may not be there when Nyesom Wike and His Excellency, alongside with Mr. President, signed this agreement. But because of Nyesom Wike's level of action, and then because of his pressure and emphasis on agreement is agreement, we went further to ask questions. We must not be there to know that this was what Nyesom Wike talked about. Today, the supporters of Barrister Nyesom Wike and the State House of Assembly led by Martin Samuel, loyal to Nyesom Wike, today they are talking about agreement is agreement. When we ask, what is the agreement? They say they want to return for third tenure. If the House of Assembly wants to go for third tenure, is this something that should be agreed upon by the governor and by the Mr. President? If the current House of Assembly members want to return for a third tenure, this is something that has to do with their constituency. It is the people at their constituency level that we applaud them for doing well in their first and second tenure and request for them to go for third tenure. It's not something that should be signed by Mr. President, Nyesom Wike, and the governor of Rivers State.
All right.
If His Excellency Ismail Afubara wants to go for second tenure as well, it is something that Rivers people, Rivers youth, will come out and say, we are complete, we are satisfied, and we also have passed a vote of confidence on the governor for this and this, or for XYZ.
All right,
today, we are happy that His Excellency Ismail Afubara have embarked on project, go to Bori, go to Kara, look at where I come from. All the internal roads that Nyesom Wike embarked upon that was abandoned have been completed by the governor of Rivers State. So what are we talking about? So at this point in time, we want Nyesom Wike to understand that we are no longer comfortable with the style of leadership or political leadership in the state, and that's what we want him to be sacked.
All right, thank you.